is Victor. I'm here with a new painting tutorial, and this time I'm going to paint this guy. This is the Khorgorath, and yeah, this is for my Bloodborne army. So I have this is from the Age of Sigmar starter kit, and I will go for quite a different look on this guy. So first of all, we are going to do the base. Is the first part I want to paint on the Khorgorath, and yeah, I will go for I will yeah, do this like sun. I will do light sun here and then contrasting with the rocks or the runes. So I will start applying Valor Brown. Sorry, this is Valor Brown from Games Workshop. We can use a very bad brush, and the idea here is just to apply a thin layer of this sun color. So I will go for something different that I'm used to do. And we are going to do this right now. Okay, so we apply this. So I will apply Valor, and you can see the intention is really to make it very thin, so you can go easily through the texture of the base with the sun, because the sun is giving a lot of texture, so we want to be sure that we can go fast. So you do that very fast and I come back. So next I'm going to paint these runes that I add here. These are from the, how it was called this, was from the Games Workshop and was from the collection. Let me see, I have here the box. So they were from the other size, but they were from the Shattered Dominion. Okay. So these are runes from the Shattered Dominion, and I will do them in a different way. I will do them reddish, but I'm going to do like if they are in the realms of fire. So I'm going to go for a very, I will use black as a base color, and we are going to do several dye brushes with red colors. It's going to be quite experimenting there. We can use as well, we don't need to use a very precise brush to do that. Just avoid to go, as you can see, I did not even wait that the sun is dry to do this. We just go carefully and not to touch the sun. So, and even if there is a little bit of mixture at the base, it's not a problem. So as you can see, I will go like that. Okay. Later on we are going to do even dry brush on the sun. We are going to dirten even more the stone. So it's not a problem to have a little bit of mix at the bottom. Okay, so I will do this, and yeah, I will paint the two rune stones, and I come back. So once the previous layers are completely dry, we are going to start doing dry brushing. First, I will do this type of stones with dry brushing. Dry brushing will give this rough finishing that we like to have when we are doing stones or something like that. So I will start using rhino's hide, okay, on the brown. And remember, I want to do something that will look like reddish, okay. So I will start using rhino's hide. This is quite the end of the life of the paint. And to do reddish, and starting from black, I recommend to start sometimes with some brown. This will give this first brownish undertone that will work very well with the red. So this is going to be, I will do this one here, this small one, and you can imagine that the rest are going to be done on the same way. Okay. You can see that the sun is also looking this yellowish color that it will really match with what we want. Okay, so I'm now applying the dry brush of rhino's hide. You will see very little on camera, but you will once you do it, you will see that you have this very light brownish tone. If there is some like this, a little bit of dirtiness from the previous yellow layer that have been mixed, don't worry. This I will say that the bases have not to be sometimes 100% clean. This will give this a little bit of the random thing, the random of the dirtiness. Okay, So we applied Rhino's head now, and the next color I'm going to apply is we are going to start with a dark red. I'm going to use corn red. You can use a middle tone if you want, but another there is not in Games Workshop. I don't think in Games Workshop there is a darker red than this one. But if you use model color, you can also use this was toast red, something like that, a red like this, that brownish red. But I will jump directly to corn red. Okay, and now we are going to see that this will start popping up all the different details. Okay, and we go quite heavy with that as well. Okay, we want to leave this reddish color on the stones. This I get the inspiration from the books of Age of Sigmar, where they did reddish terrain, and we have that is from the fire, the Reakshi, I think it's called, the realm of fire. So you will see that, and we are going to do several layers of red. So I keep taking red. I'm using the part that is really dry from the paint, and keep doing layers. Okay. You see now that now it's. If you're tilting a little bit the sun, don't worry. This way I do first this, and the sun will be done later. Okay. I realize here I leave a black spot. What we do if we have a mistake like that, I like to correct at the moment. I will correct this with Rhino's height. Okay, I will take a little bit of Rhino's height. Put it here. Okay, this is good. Of course, we don't want white spots on these stones. You can see that the color is building up, it's becoming reddish and reddish. Okay. Now will we really okay. Now I'm going to go for even a lighter red. I will use Wild Rider red. This is really bright, so use it with a lot of metal. This one, it's almost orange. We are going to do this. Okay, so this is how we want this to look like. I think in camera it's looking darker than what it's looking in reality. So we'll do, and normally is when you do dry brush, don't try to do the color build up in once. Try to do it with several. And now I'm just reinforcing here on where we have the skulls. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Okay. So I will do the other stones and I come back once the other stones are done now. So now that we have done the dry brush on all these things, we can do some of the symbols with gold to make it look a little bit more interesting. So we are going to do these symbols there. I will keep the skulls on red, and I will paint using Retributor armor. I will paint this type of symbols here, okay? So this will give a little bit more, will break a little bit the uniformity of this. Right? So very carefully. we follow the shape of these symbols. Okay, so I will do all the symbols. This can look like old ornaments of wearing gold, or in brass or something like that, or magic and runes, but I will keep them just in gold. And remember, gold is a noble metal and it's not rusting. If it's brass, then you can add the bluish rust. Okay, so we'll do the other one and I come back once it's done. So next I'm going to apply Seraphim Sepia on the base. I don't want to go too heavy. I will use this big brush to that, but you want not to be too heavy, so spread it well. Take a big brush to be faster, but you really want to keep the lighter touch. You want to keep it light. Okay, so the way to do it is spread it well. You can go a little bit more heavy next to the rocks, but you want to keep it. You want to keep the yellowish. You don't want to go brown, right? It's because if you just do highlight now there, it's going to be too light. Will not look. We will not see too much. It's to help on giving more on popping out the texture. Okay. So we do this, and then when it will need to white, it is too much here. We will need to wait until this is completely dry. Okay. You can go a little bit heavier in one area, in one part, and less heavy in others. You can be uneven, it's also good. So I do that, and now I wait until this dries before doing the dry brush. So next we are going to use Flight 1 Flash, and we are going to dry brush on the sun. Okay. We'll use the same battered brush. We are going to do some dry brush on the sun. It's too heavy. Okay, so we do this on all over the sun. I will do the rest of the base, same. Here it is not much to say, we just do this dry brush and I come back. So this is how the base looks like now. Okay, we still have this to do done, but the next thing I will do is I will start painting the skin, the main part of the Khorgorath. And I'm going to use also Flight 1 Flash as a base color for the skin. Okay, so we are going to apply this on the skin. We want to apply a thin layer, and yeah, this is going to be the base color, and from there we are going to start building up. I want to go for a very pale skin. This is the reason I go for this, and we are going to do all this type of scars or things that he has on the skin with a very bloody effect, as well as the bones. I know that this can look very similar now, but we are going to work to really differentiate the bones from the skin, and we are going to make them look quite bloody, so this will be the way for me to differentiate them. So I will paint the skin very pale and I come back. So I have applied Flake 1 Flash on the skin, and I also started working on the skin. Here was more to test how I want it to look like, and this is more or less what I want to do. So what I will do now here is I will paint the back here on camera, so you can see the techniques I'm applying, and the same is applied all over the rest of the skin. So I'm going to use I like to always paint with quite small brushes. I'm using the layer small, okay, and the colors I'm going to use are Gene Steeler Purple, it's Flake 1 Flash, that is the one that we used before, okay, and then we are using Tusgor Fur and Cadian Flash Tone, and I put them all here together in my palette in a way that I can mix them easily and I can do the color gradients as I need. So let's start working first on these scars, for example, and I will start applying very thin down Tusgor Fur, so the darker color. Okay, and we are going to do something like that. Okay. So we are going, and the first step is yes, I want to pop up where the scars are. Okay. I'm going to do the same here where we have the backbone exposed. I'm going to apply this. Okay. I'm going to dilute more. I always have water ready in case I need to dilute the paint. And for example, I can do also this skull here. Okay. We are not going to take care of the skulls now. I'm just applying and just redding or making red the skin around where we have scars or skulls. Now I will start working, for example, from bottom to top. Okay, I just wanted to point here and here as well. I just start working bottom to top, and I will start applying Cadian Flash Tone here. Okay, and I like to go very thin. Okay, and I back a little bit from the scare. Okay, and then I will mix with a little bit of Flake 1 Flash, and I take a little bit more of Flake 1 Flash. Okay. We are going to do now with the Flash Tone with Cadian color. Here I'm dragging a little bit from, and we are going to increase the shade around the scar. was just diluting more the paints. I was preparing the paint in there. So we're going to play here. Okay. As you can see, because this was a little bit fresh, but here we're going to play a little bit stronger here, and now we put a little bit more of cutting stone there. I cut a fresh stone. Okay. You can now hear the original flake one flash. I will go here. It's a little bit mixed with Cadian flake stone to leave a little bit of pinkish color. Okay. And now I think, now that here I have dry, the point is there is a moment that you have to wait that it's drying like here, and now I can apply. I'll put a little bit of, sorry for that. So sorry for the interruption. So what we want to do here is I will also highlight, shade a little bit below these wrinkles here. Okay, so you want to play with the blending and trying to make it work. So the other thing we can work is we can give like a little bit of I would say necrotic finishing or sick finishing. Okay, this is a mixture of with a little bit of purple. You can add a little bit, very little purple. I add some more purple here, so you can add in some areas a little bit of purple, and this will break a little bit the uniformity of the color, and will give will make it look more interesting in some point. So you can, the skin can have, especially when it's like that is really damaged and scarred, can have a little bit of purple. But we want to avoid to be too evident with the purple sometimes, because if we go too much purple, it looks a little bit slashy, and I don't want this, to be fair. So this is, I'm going to shade now this part here. So, okay, I'm really going very strong now, and now I take the Cadian flake stone, softening. Okay, I will soften here. This is too strong. So I like to start quite strong and then using lighter tones later on to soften. Okay. So in that way I see where I want to indicate the shading. Okay, and I use a little bit as an undertone. Okay, I will put here. I will go this muzzle. And here the trick is to work a lot with the transparency of the paint and with and thinning down and trying to mix them at the same time. Okay. So I'm using now flake one flash. Okay, flake one flash here. I will use flake one flash here. And the other paint was a little bit fresh still, so we'll mix a little bit. We'll use now flame white flash mixed with a little bit with Cadian flash tone, and I will go in that area. Okay. And then around the scars we want to put a little bit of Cadia flash tone. To work around this one as well, and then the part that we want to also put Cadia flash tone is on this part here, right? And I will mix with a little bit of the Tusgor fur, sorry. So we want to really make this part darker. And now we want, let me put some Cadian. We're going to add some Cadian flash tone around. Okay. So it's a little bit, can be a little bit time consuming. So for example here that we have this stone, I'm going back with Cadian flash tone. And then I take a little bit of flake one flash. We want to work here. Those gold flash to put this on the scar. Here I will as well go with Cadian flash tone around this scar. And here the problem we have, the difficulty we can have with this skin is that we have this mixture of scars and shades, and you want to, everything is mixed in some areas, so you really need to and then going from one part to another, because I want to wait that the paint is dry before applying some parts. Okay. This thing here we wanted to make it darker. And then we'll do another thing that is, I like to, the point is I like to see how it will look like, so I will take a little bit of purplish color and I will go around here. Okay. To make here the skin really look like ill, no, like sick skin. Or we want this to look really like unhealthy skin. Okay. We are going to go around this. So you can imagine I will do all around. I will do now this part. The same we are going to do on this area here. Okay, we are going to apply there is a Tusgour flesh mixed with purple to make this rose pinkish unhealthy color. Okay. Then we can add a little bit of Cadian on top. Right. With a little bit of Cadian on top of this. Later on we are going to paint the thing inside. So let's do more work here. Let's try to finish this half of this okay. See, I go quite dark. Now I take the Cadian flesh stone. You go next to it. Okay, I will apply a little bit more of the darker shade here. Okay, and also Cadian flesh stone here. Right. And now we take one flesh that is the very light one, and we go here. Then of course, just below here, we take a little bit of Cadian flesh stone and we go next to it. Take a mixture. It's too strong, the mixture. Okay. We do like a second round of this. We're going to do the same around this guy here. Okay. We'll do the other side of camera. To save time, I try to focus and to do these scars in the middle, we can take Cadian flesh stone mixed with a little bit of purple. Okay, this will give a unhealthy pinkish color as well. This may be a little bit too pinky, so we take a little bit more of Cadian flesh stone. Okay, and you just paint the scars then we need to keep cleaning up down. So I'm going to take in now flake-bone flesh. I mix it with a little bit of Cadian claystone. You blend it a little bit. Okay. Then the flake-bone flesh color will almost not be pure anywhere, in any placement. So you're going to have almost mixed with a little bit of Cadian claystone, because if it's too, you want to wet it is too bright and it's contrasting too much. We can give some scars. The scar here is a little bit tricky. I will add a little bit of the mixture that we applied before. Okay. And I'm going to apply a little bit of around. Well, here. Right. We want to keep working on this transition here. We are going to work here as well. Take a little bit more of flake-bone flesh. Okay, and you can see it's a lot of balancing and going back and forth on the different parts. Try to have until you are happy with what you are doing. Let's do that. This is like a fold, so I'm going to do this quite bright to show that this is not a scar really, it's fault of the skin. We can also now do some brighter points. Okay, I'm going to go with the paint, flake-bone flesh, and we highlight a little bit more. We can use a little bit of the purple color. Here around this open thing. To the other side later on. And I will keep going down now to have the color more. See, now it's better, and I need a little bit of lighter here. Here. Okay. Let's look a little bit more here in this part. So I will go first with the dark color. Same here because this was too dark. we need also to do this. Now I will take lighter one and even lighter one. And even lighter one. I don't say the color because no, I'm really mixing them, trying to soften all these transitions. So I'm doing this. This is really mixed between Cadian Flake Stone and Flake One Flake. And now I'm using Flake One Flake, but I did not clean my brush, so I have a little bit of rest of the previous paint. So this is why you have to do this on the wet palette, because if not you will contaminate your paints, because I'm not cleaning and it's done in purpose, because this is helping me to have the right tone that I'm looking for. Okay, and then I realize here is too bright. I will put a little bit of, and then here where we have this muzzle, we're going to go darker. As I say, this can be quite time consuming, but I think at the end the result is quite nice. And this is why I like to use this technique. And I think for a skin, for a method like this, that everything is a skin almost, is a nice way to do it. So let's play a little bit here, and also here I will go a bit lighter. I will do this one again. I'm going to do this one also lighter. So at the end, when the skin is very pale, it's also giving this sensation of unhealthy skin too. Especially when you have purplish tones. Okay, and you can see this is more a realistic skin than the one that I did for the Aberrants of the Gene Stealer Cult, where I went really purple. Here I wanted to go for something that can be a little bit more realistic. So here you have how to do the skin, and I will keep doing the same for the rest. So I will not, the rest is going to be the same, so I will do the same, and then I will show you how to do the bones. But this is what how I will be working on the skin. I hope the camera can get the contrast. It goes really from quite a deep red with purple to the Flake One Flake color that is a very light, is a bone color. So this is how I will do the skin of all the Khorgorath, and yeah, once I have done the rest of the arms and all the rest, I will show you how it's looking like. But here I will keep going without I will do the rest of camera. So yeah, I will be back once the skin is done. So the skin now is painted. Okay, I did the skin in the front, this how it's looking at the back. Okay, maybe we'll need to go back to retouch, but now I want to start doing the skeletons and the backbones and all these things that we have there. And what I'm going to do for that, I will focus just mainly on the skulls and the backbones that we have all there. So I'm going to use first Seraphim Sepia, and we are going to wash them with Seraphim Sepia. I want to let them look like they are bloody. So let's see if this is working. I can take this off now. I'm using this, and then let's do this. So we are going to wash this with Seraphim Sepia, and this will give a nice shading to these bones. Okay, and on top of the shading we are going to use this shading to put on top the very transparent blood effects. We want them to look like if it's inside of a blood pool. And this is, as I said, this is going to be like a little bit of experimentation from my side. I like to keep some parts really dark to give them deepness, to make this to look deep. So of course this is one of the main parts that I will wash. Okay, you see the tail is completely now appearing. Okay, here I have a part of the skin that I missed, so I will come back to touch that once this has dried. Okay, I will say that the beginning is quite tricky to know what is each thing here on this guy, but once you start popping up the detail, it looks much more interesting. It's almost like spawn, this guy. So we're going to do also the skulls here on the neck. I will apply a little bit here. I will not do all the spikes. Yeah, the spikes I will do it in another moment. So let's do this. I have another skeleton here. We should, and then there we have another one. Okay, and the face I will do it in a different moment. So I try to go up to the head of this guy. Okay. It's really a weird guy. I'm not going to do these things neither. If I do, I like to work this guy by type of things. So I let it dry and I come back once this has dry. So while the Seraphim shape is still drying, I wait for a while, but it still need time. I will start painting the nails or the talons of this guy, and we are going to do also this thing here. So to paint the talons, I will use I will start with dryad bark. I will go for a really dark color. Okay. First, so I will apply dryad bark here on all the nails here at the, and I come back once it is done. So this is, I paint the how it's called this, the dryad bark on the nails, and at the end I decided also to do this type of spikes with dryad bark. Now I will go back to the skulls. I'm going to do some blood effects now. I will use blood for the blood god, and I want to do the big corn symbol that we have here at the middle. So I'm going to take this and we're going to apply this in the middle, and most likely we will need a couple of layers because I want this to look darker than that. Okay, but we want to go for like a bleeding type of, not really bleeding, but if it's like exposed blood or something like that in the symbol, but it's not dripping the blood, it's just like an open, yeah, maybe we say it that the flesh have went, and then on the skulls there I will go quite thin, and I will do a red tint on the skulls with blood for the blood god. Okay, here I want to go more heavy with blood, want it to be darker, and I'm thinking maybe I will put a little bit of purple on this blood to make it darker, especially on the corners. Okay, or maybe a couple of layers. So we do this first layer with blood for the blood god. we really want to give this sensation that is bleeding here. And I wanted to do that because I want to see the contrast with the skin and maybe do some fine tuning on the skin as well later on. So we want to really see, I wanted to see how this would look. Okay, put a little bit more here. I really want this to be okay. Now I will show you how I will do the skulls here. It's not completely dry, the Seraphim Savior, but it's okay. I think will work. So we are going to apply just if these are coming very bleeding from the inside of the body of this thing. So we want to go, and we want to, you see, this is the problem. I should have to wait a little bit more, but I'm running out of time. I wanted to do it, but it will work. I think it will work because at the end I'm doing like a wash with blood for the blood god. We want to make this really look like it's bleeding skulls. So we are going to do that, and I will finalize this first part of the tutorial here. So we are going to start the second part to do some other details on the miniature. So I will do this. You see that so you want to really thin down the blood because you want the skull color to pop up as well, to be visible. And here I went a little bit on the skin. Here I forgot a small piece of skin that I will do later on. Okay, but this is the want to look like a mix of pool of blood with the skulls. Okay, I wanted to go for quite a gore looking. We can do with a finger like that if it's too much. Okay, but I think it's good. It's nice to have this irregular. This again is that is the bone is being popping out. I imagine this guy in suffering continuous pain from the scars at the different. You can do this as well on some of the scars. I will not do that. I will keep the scars as they are. We don't need to forget. I don't want to forget the skulls here on this. Here. This is cool. Okay. And there is another skull here. This one I will wipe a little bit. With a little bit of paper. Okay, and we are going to do the same here. Okay, I'm going to apply a second layer here on the middle scar. I want this really corn symbol to be visible. Okay. Then we are going to work a little bit more on this. You know that they have better. I'm seeing better where. What I want to do here is too much. I will remove a little bit. I will put. Okay. And this is how it looks like. So we have some parts that are really blooded. I will remove a little bit of paint from here. I want to block all the details. So we're going to remove a little bit of the paint from here. So at the end I did like a wash, I really thin it down a lot here when I was doing this part, and on top was mixed a little bit with the Seraphim Sepia, but this was not a bad thing. Okay, but I like this non-uniform looking. Okay, here I will remove. Here I think I like it, it is quite dark. Okay. I remove a little bit too much with the tissue. Like that. Okay. You can do other parts, like for example this thing. You can do for example this thing as well with, like if it's wood, and then we are going to do the rest later on. Okay, so I do that. I will do, once I do the other parts I will do. And I will finalize here this first part of the tutorial. Okay, I will do it in 2 parts, and this should be about an hour now. So I think it's a good first part where I did the base, and I did the skin, and also I start doing these blood effects. I really want to go for quite a gore looking on this army. So that's all for this part. Keep tuned if you want to see the second part. I will keep working on this guy to the end. I guess by the weekend this has to be finished. Suspect end of this week, or more likely beginning of the next week, the second part on the tutorial of this guy. I hope you like what you have seen so far. This is how the clone symbol is looking like now. Okay, I hope you're liking what you're seeing so far. Please leave in the comments below. Let me know what do you think about making this type of bloody thing on the bones. And yeah, that's all for now. As usual, give a like if you have liked it. Comment below.